Being an entrepreneur means there is no destination. You just keep going from success to success to success to success. If you are a true entrepreneur, you never hang them up. You never hang up the laces. You never say, I'm done. Although I've accomplished many goals, becoming a doctor, becoming a lawyer, becoming a business guy, having a, knock on wood, successful law practice, successful business launches, and so forth, I got to ask myself, why aren't I further along than I thought I would be, or that I had set for myself? And so this is a hack on goals, because I realized that that I had been setting the wrong goals, or I had been going about it the wrong way in setting my goals. And so this is where the meat of the podcast starts, about goals. And this is just a one hack, which again, I'll expand in future episodes. But Yo, what's up, everybody? This is the N2N podcast, and I am your host, Dr. N2N. And as my friends affectionately call me, the Ninja or Prolific Ninja, you can call me Ninja too. This is the N2N podcast, the alpha to the omega, the beginning to the end, talking about life, entrepreneurship, success, motivation, drive, and offering you morsels in this all-you-can-eat buffet called life. Back in the studio, glad to be recording episode number 57. This is kind of a special one. But before I want to get into that, I want to express, again, as I start with all of my podcasts, express some gratitude to all of you out there that are liking, commenting, especially sharing and following my podcast on all platforms: Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, at N2N podcast. Thank you for sharing and following and commenting. I'm getting a lot of positive feedback. It means the message is resonating to our goal, which is inspiring billions across the planet in a positive way. And again, the only way we can do that is if you share the show, because I do this on my own dime, on my own time, no sponsorships. So in order to grow the show, you got to share it. And as I say, if your knowledge swole, share the show. That's how we grow. So if you find value in this episode or any other episode of the N2N podcast, please do like, comment, and share. And I want to express that gratitude specifically as I do in all my shows. And this is a very special episode because it is my birthday. And as I like to say, I'm getting a year wiser, not a year older. Life shouldn't be about a countdown. It should be a count up, meaning you're growing with every year, not getting older. And I'll get into a whole episode related to that, about perspective and shifting your framework in your perception of life. But it is my birthday today, actually, as we record this episode. And secondly, and I hope you can tell as my swollenness physically has come, is I finished the Live Hard Phase 1 of the 75 Hard program, or Live Hard program. And if you don't know, this was created. It's a program created by Andy Frisella, CEO of First Form, and he created a program called 75 Hard, which is for 75 days straight. No booze, stick to a diet, work out twice a day. One has to be outdoors, read 10 pages of nonfiction, and take a selfie and drink a gallon of water a day. So you do that for 75 days. And then when you finish that, up to you. And the main thing is accountability. So no compromise. If you mess up on any of these items, you got to start over. But if you accomplish that, your mindset, your life will change. And then there's the Live Hard program, which then you add, there's 3 phases, which phase 1, you add a 5-minute cold shower, 3 more items on your power to-do list, and then you do 10 minutes of active visualization. So I finished the extra phase 1 30 days just yesterday, and I feel fantastic. I can't tell you. I needed this going into the summertime because, you know, you get the days of summer, the dog days of summer, the summer doldrums. It's getting hot. You rather stay inside, not do anything, those kind of things. And you kind of get complacent or lazy, or you can at least, over the summertime. And if you are tempted to go that way, highly recommend you do either the 75 Hard program, or if you've already done it, get onto that Live Hard. And also listen to my last podcast about how you keep your goals through the summertime. But as related to those 2 things and talking about goals, that's the topic of this episode. Because, you know, it's my birthday. And having, 4 decades under my belt, I'm asking myself, I do my active kind of inventory of my life. and determining whether I hit my goals or not, or whether I am where I want to be relative to what I thought I would be at this age. And in many ways, I can say yes, but in a lot more ways, I can say no. I thought I would be much further along. That's not to say I'm behind. I just thought I would be much further along. That being said, I've accomplished many, 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 many goals that I can build on up to this point in my life. And so it's got a long way to go. And there's an expression, if you think about it, you have from your 30s to basically your 70s or 80s of productivity in a career. And so in my 40s, I'm only 20 to 30% done with my building phase of my life. So I'm not even halfway. I've got a long way to go. And so I can build on the goals that I've accomplished in the past to expand for the next 30, 40, maybe 50 years into the future, continuing to be an entrepreneur, because if you listen to, I forget what podcast episode it was, being an entrepreneur means there is no destination. You just keep going from success to success to success to success. If you are a true entrepreneur, you never hang them up. You never hang up the laces. You never, say I'm done. Entrepreneurship means you just keep going, building value for yourself, for your community, for your peers, for the world. That's the true definition of being an entrepreneur. So I asked myself why, although I've accomplished many goals, becoming a doctor, becoming a lawyer, becoming a business guy, having a, knock on wood, successful law practice, successful business launches, and so forth, I got to ask myself, why aren't I further along than I thought I would be, or that I had set for myself? And so this is a hack on goals, because I realized that I had been setting the wrong goals, or I had been going about it the wrong way in setting my goals. And so this is where the meat of the podcast starts about goals. And this is just a one hack, which again, I'll expand in future episodes. But many people think goals is an objective thing, meaning it's a destination. Oh, I want to get here. I want to get into this career. I want to go to New York City. I want to travel to Europe. That is a goal. Many people say it's a destination. Other people say it's an objective and a material thing. Oh, I want to make $1 million. Oh, I want to buy a Lambo. Oh, I want to buy a hypercar. Oh, I want to be in a mansion. I want to buy a mansion. Oh, I want to get a lake house. Or it's a material, objective, object. People think that is a goal. That's the wrong way to think about it. Because when you objectify a goal, when you objectify a destination or a role or a career path, right? It's easy to excuse yourself if you don't hit it. Just wasn't meant for me. I got more time to buy that. I got more time to go there. I got more time to do that, right? That is not what I would say vibrating into your goal, right? As I'll explain in the future, everything is about vibration, frequency, and energy. And so when you objectify a goal, Lambo, the goal is a thing. It's not a vibration. It's not a emotional, spiritual journey to buy a Lambo. And that's why many people don't buy a Lambo or a McLaren in my instance, right? When you make it an object, it is not a way, there's no pathway to an object. So a way to think about a goal actually is you have to put yourself in a vibratory sense in the goal. So the goal is not, I want to be in a McLaren, or the goal is not, I want a McLaren. The goal is, I want to feel what it's like to own a McLaren. There's a difference, right? I want to feel what it's like to own a McLaren. Because when you put it in that context, it puts your mind in a McLaren. It puts your mind in Europe. It puts your mind in the career. I want to feel what it's like to be a CEO of $1 million company. Because then you put the visualization in your head of you in that circumstance. You opening the patented wing doors on a McLaren, sliding inside the car, feeling the leather seats, right? Feeling the handlebar, the paddle shifters, pushing the auto start button, putting it in track mode. You have to put yourself in the goal in order to get to the goal. You have to feel, smell, hear, taste what it feels like to sit behind the CEO's desk, what the chair is going to be like, what your desk is going to look like. Where's the phone? Where's your computer? Where are the screens? Where's the door? Where's the assistant when he or she comes in to tell you, you have a meeting, right? What does the building look like, right? Or if you have a vacation goal in Europe, what does the Roman Colosseum, put yourself in the Colosseum in Italy, or put yourself in the vineyard in Tuscany or in France or wherever. You got to put yourself there, sitting in the chair, sunlight, the sunset. You're sifting the wine, you're smelling it, you're tasting it. That is the goal. It can't be, I want to buy a car. It can't be, I want to run a company. It can't be, I want to go to Italy or France or wherever, Bali. Right? So in that context, you need to shift one statement in your goal setting, which is, it's not, my goal is I want to blank. You have to shift it to, my goal is that I'm going to blank. I'm going to feel what it's like to own a mansion, to visualize that massive whatever, 5,000, 10,000 square foot house, 20,000 square foot house. What does it look like? What does it feel like opening the doors or opening the garage, the automatic garage as you pull up in your supercar? What does that feel like? Because then what happens is your mind sees it, your subconscious internalizes it, your spirit, your soul feels it, and you start vibrating those frequencies of your goal. Okay? And literally, that's how the universe works. Literally. The way it works is that your goal, imagine your goal is that square hole and you're a round peg. Two things have got to change in order for you to get through. Either that square's got to turn into a circle, or you've got to turn yourself into a square. Then it slots through. And that's how it works. In the infinite world of in the infinite universe out there, energy waves in the universe out there, in the future probabilities, all scenarios are vibrating at certain frequencies. It's you that needs to vibrate your frequency to match, right? So if you're a negative, pessimistic kind of person, you don't vibrate at a high frequency. And so you're only going to match into goals or slots that are low, if you even match any that are low. Nothing wrong with that. That's just you. But it's up to you to visualize your own goal of being in that situation with all your senses, imagining, visualize. And that's the importance of the Live Hard program, phase 1. You have to spend 10 minutes of active visualization. So I'm visualizing myself doing future things so I can slot my vibration into those things. And believe me, y'all, it's happening. Right? You might think this is all pie in the sky stuff, but this is actually how it works. You listen to any high achiever, any of these podcasts, billionaire guys, and they will tell you this is how it works. But you have to see yourself there in order to vibrate into there. And that's how goals should be set. So it's not, I want a Lambo. It's, I'm going to know what it's like to sit in a Lambo. Subtle difference. It's not, it's not, I want to own a mansion. That's my goal for 2023. Not my personal goal. I'm just saying for you. It is, I'm going to know what it's like to own a mansion. It's not, I'm going to, for you in school, it's not, I'm going to make straight A's. Or, sorry, it's not, I want to make straight A's. It's, I'm going to know what it's like to make straight A's. You see how it's a difference? One is a objective statement. One is a vibratory sentence. You have to make your mind, put yourself into that future goal situation. And so for me, on my birthday, I didn't realize this until late. I spent, over a decade buried in textbooks. So there's no way I would know this is how it really works. I'm learning about biochemistry and pharmacology and Supreme Court laws and cases and all this stuff. So I didn't have the time to understand this is how it actually works in the universe of life until later, much later, in my late 30s. So I'm kind of like just starting. But I've come to realize that that is how it actually works. So if, for example, in something as simple as 75 Hard or the Live Hard Phase 1, it wasn't, hey, I'm going to finish this. It was, I'm going to know what it's like to finish this. So it makes you committed. I'm going to. You're committing to yourself. And so if you're honest with yourself, you're going to do it. But if you're not honest with yourself, I want to, that's an easy way out. I want to, but it's not that important to me. I want to, but I'm not willing to sacrifice. When you say I'm going to, that's an affirmation to yourself. So you're committing to yourself. Do you want to let yourself down? Most people don't. Some people, it's okay to let yourself down. But most people that are high achievers, all people that are high achievers, refuse to let themselves down. So I'm going to know what it feels like to finish phase 1. And here I am. I feel fantastic. Heading into summer. Going to celebrate my birthday on a lake with some jet skis. That's how it works. So I'm giving you this key to unlock how you can project yourself into your own future goals. So to summarize, do not set objectifying goals. It's not, I want to travel here as a goal. I want to do this as a goal. It's, I'm going to know what it feels like to go here, to do that, to buy this. Put yourself in all your sensory capacity into that future goal. You got to be imaginative and be active with your visualization. It's the only way. But you got to vibrate yourself, your round peg, into that square hole. And that's the fastest and easiest and best way, the only way to properly set the right goals for you. So, kind of short podcast, but hey, it's my birthday. Got to go celebrate. By intention, just to let you know, I finished Live Hard Phase 1 yesterday so that I can celebrate my birthday today. So, happy birthday to me. My gift from you all has been y'all's unbounding support for the podcast, for my message to inspire billions of people across the planet. If you found this podcast valuable, if your knowledge swole, please do share the show. That's how we grow. I'm forever grateful for you all. The message is resonating. We're getting more and more comments, likes, and shares and follows on a daily basis. So thank you very much. We're only getting started and excited to bring you future episodes of the N2N podcast. Thank you very much. Podcast Ninja out.